We're going to talk about the seventh reason for weight loss plateau. All right, so you're doing keto, you think you're doing it correctly, but it's maybe not working. How do we make it work better? I've done a lot of videos on this, but number one, the most important thing is to make sure your carbs are low. And I'm talking below about 10 grams per day, not per meal, but per day. So whatever your carbs are, bring them on the low side. Very important. All right, number two, you may not be fasting long enough. So if you're on 2 meals a day, you might need to go to 1 meal a day. If you're on 1 meal a day, you may want to consider doing a longer fast. So potentially you need to eat once every other day. But for some people with a very slow metabolism, that's what they need to do. Also, the question to ask is this: when you eat, are you really hungry? Because if you're not hungry, keep fasting until you are hungry. And I've had people go, several days of fasting because they just weren't hungry. And that's totally fine. Just make sure you take your electrolytes and your B vitamins if you're fasting. All right, so lowering carbs and decreasing the frequency of your meals will get you into ketosis, and it will help reduce inflammation. If you have a lot of inflammation in your body, that's going to kill ketosis right off the bat. All right, number three, it could be that your stress is just too high. This is going to activate cortisol, and cortisol will totally bump you out of fat burning. So do whatever you can to lower your stress. Go for long walks. I have a lot of videos on this. I will put some down below. All right, next point is your sleep cycles. If you have poor sleep, you got to fix that. There's a lot of reasons why people don't sleep. Big one is stress. So after you improve your stress, that should help sleep. If you can get an extra hour of sleep, that, believe it or not, will help you lose weight. You burn the most fat when you're sleeping, and you have the most growth hormone when you're sleeping. And growth hormone is the main fat burning hormone. All right, next one is exercise. Let's say you don't exercise. Well, start exercising. Just make sure that you recover from your exercise. Some people don't have the recovery, they over-exercise, they overtrain, and that will slow down your weight loss. But if your sleep is good and you're not overtraining, it's a perfect combination, because then you're going to recover from the exercise. All right, number six, you're eating too much fat or too much protein. Now, there's nothing wrong with eating too much fat as long as your carbs are low, but if you have a slow metabolism and you're adding extra fat to, like MCT oil, butter, keto cookie bombs, things like that, your body's going to go after that dietary fat before your own fat. So you may want to consider bringing it down to right around 75 grams. You don't want to bring it down too low, but bring it down a little bit. That may help you. And make sure your protein is a moderate amount, not a high amount, because the extra protein will definitely turn into glucose and raise the insulin. All right, number seven, the seventh reason why you may be plateauing. You have a deficiency of your microbes, okay? You have a microbiome deficiency. You don't have enough friendly bacteria. Now, what does this bacteria have to do with weight loss? There's some very interesting studies. One study, and I'm going to put all these studies down below, show that when you consume regular probiotics, you will see significantly more weight loss. And you'll see an improved LDL, especially the bad LDL. It's called the small dense particle size. That actually improves when you take probiotics. All right, in another study, double-blind randomized controlled trial showed that there was improved insulin sensitivity, okay? Because you're improving insulin resistance. And as you may know, insulin resistance is behind a slow metabolism. So when you add the microbes to your gut, you actually indirectly improve your insulin resistance. You make insulin more sensitive, so the body does not have to produce as much insulin. And it also helps regulate your blood sugars. And then in the third study, there was an improved test called HOMA-IR, which is a test to indicate if you have insulin resistance again. So what's happening, the microbiomes eat fiber that then turns into a compound that greatly improves insulin resistance in your blood sugar. So you're indirectly helping yourself lose weight by letting the microbes do the work. If you have enough diversity in your gut, you're going to be way better at losing weight than if you don't. And also, this is another interesting point. When farmers use antibiotics, they can actually fatten their animals. So antibiotics make animals get fatter. Well, if you don't have the microbes in your gut, whether you took an antibiotic or not. That could be one reason why it's contributing to your weight gain. And if you don't have enough microbes in your gut, a lot of times you'll have inflammatory problems in your gut. That inflammation will totally kill ketosis. So again, low carb, fast longer, vitamin D, and then fortify with probiotics. And then the next point, like I said, insulin resistance is greatly improved when you fortify your gut with probiotics because the microbes eat the fiber, which then turns into something that helps your blood sugars. And just so you know, good probiotics can actually help build up your friendly bacteria, but fiber, okay, it's a prebiotic, doesn't make new microbes. It actually just feeds the microbes you have. The food that your microbes like to eat is fiber. And I'm talking about from non-starchy vegetables. I'm not talking about doing the whole grains. And the cool thing about fiber, it is the only carbohydrate that has zero influence on insulin. So it's good. Hey, before you go, if you're benefiting from any of my content, I would love to hear about your success story. Please share it in the link down below.